VCR Redux will begin in T-5 minutes.
What the fart is VCR Redux?
It's the show where we take movies from the VCR era and bring them back to today.
Well, how do we do that?
Well, we start by talking about a VHS classic, and usually you'll say something like,
I haven't been this uncomfortable since I watched Meatballs 4, Meatballs to the Rescue with my parents. Oh yeah, or you'll say something stupid like,
I wish we lived in a world where the Garbage Pail Kids made as many movies as the Muppets.
but I know you'll always see it through with a positive attitude.
I hate this movie, I hate being here, I hate all of this. Oh, Jamie Kennedy. Oh, well, shit. Well, let's go for this.
He was in Son of Mask. This is genius.
I am not a gamer. I'd rather read books.
Ian's like the old lady that's like, I got video game monsters, I got toy monsters in here.
As long as we respect the passion and the artistry that went into these films.
You know, obviously they took this movie, it's 93, right? You're like, what do you want to see in your Mario movie? And they're like, oh, we want it to be grim, we want a lot of death, we want tits and ass.
Oh, and then we start the pitch ideas with modern day sequels like
Weekend at Bernie's 3, Cocaine Mountain.
Sometimes we take it kind of seriously.
I'll watch a Paul Verhoeven alien movie.
Oh my gosh, that alien will have more vaginas than anything you've ever seen in your life. Sometimes this Hawaiian shirted fool will pitch something stupid like,
I would take out the virtual reality stuff and just have it be about Jeff Fahey mowing the lawn.
Sometimes the best pitches come from the live chat.
Alex Bonafonte also pitches Grand Theft Starfighter Vice Galaxy.
wait, I thought I had the best pitches.
And what happens at the end of the movie? The ultimate fart. The fart that the warmth goes like all the way down to your socks.
The only rules are, there are no rules. Sometimes we cross over franchises.
Only the truck from Tango and Cash can kill Christine.
And sometimes we travel back in time.
Like 1995 is missing a good Universal Soldier sequel.
But you never know what we're gonna pitch next.
What do you want? Do you want Daniel Stern behind like a muzzled mask? Like,
We all know it should be Pesci behind the mask, and like underneath the mask, you should hear him going like fritter, 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 fritter.
you are so proud of yourself for that one. I can't stand you.
I would also love to see a Charles Bronson version of It's a Wonderful Life.
What?
Direct to DVD.
If you made a shot-for-shot remake of Scarface with Goofy as Al Pacino, it would be amazing.
Oh my God.
Dorsey, you need me to be the bad guy.
It's like the worst 1987 Disney movie Disney's ever made. Schlongo, directed by Jim Wynorski.
Like, I would watch a whole bowl of that.
Do the John Holmes story. Add a comedy spin to it.
Wow, the Wonderland murders are so funny.
I'd watch it on my mobile.
Something happens and he goes into a coma. He gets like, hit by a car or something. I know this is dark, but like, bear with me. He's got to go on.
Did you just go like Hard to Kill with Ferris Bueller?
I'd watch it on my iPad.
If you want to just like throw in the kitchen sink, I mean, it all works. Like Alien versus Predator versus RoboCop, like that works. Alien versus Predator versus Terminator, that works.
Alien versus Predator versus Ernest, that works.
That works.
I respect everything you just said. I need David Silver and Terry Silver and the Sloan family all learning the Quicksilver, but they're doing it in Breakin' 3 Hydraulic Boogaloo, and it's underwater. It's gonna be incredible. Eat your fucking shit out, James Cameron. I got the underwater movie you can't touch.
That was the most disgusting thing I've ever heard in my life.
Mr. Toxie Goes to Washington.
My ass would be in the theater tomorrow.
If Harley Quinn gets 7 movies, then Tank Girl should get at least 70.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
I mean, why should we even bother with Look Who's Talking when Air Bud is soaring to new highs?
All I know is I want Danny McBride.
I'd want him doing anything other than writing Halloween movies, honestly. Anything that keeps him away from that fucking job, I'm for it.
Just let him talk out of his butt. I don't care how he does it.
I'd rather not.
Austin Powers doing the Macarena.
That would be the opening credits. Come on.
But we have not yet had Die Hard on a half pipe. What if John McClane Jr. was a pro skateboarder and also an avid machine gun enthusiast? Skater Die Hard.
What up, virtual people? Welcome to the 182nd episode of VCR Redux. We take your favorite franchises out of the analog era and bring them back to 2025. I'm your host, pop culture punk Chris Stiles, joined as always by my co-host with the most film complaints, film professor Ian Klink.
Oh, I'm just getting warmed up.
And we have 3 radical guests on the show tonight. First up, the third leg of our VCR tripod himself. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Mac Daddy Mickey Torres is Mick back on the show.
What's up, everyone?
And the VCR's favorite video store veteran and cosplay connoisseur, the great Scott Benson, is back on the show.
That's the best I got for you.
That's the best he's got. And rounding out this righteous crew, coming to you all the way from the West Coast, the VCR's favorite film editor, Derek Lufkin, is back on the show.
We'll have to see who does the best Pacino impression this episode.
I look forward to the flex. We are here today, in case you couldn't tell, folks, to tango in the Oak Room, to drink some John Daniels, and to drive a Ferrari blind like it's cruising USA. That's right, folks. This world needs Son of a Woman too, and we're here to give it to you. But before big things happen to that little thing of Ian's, we got a dish on how Son of a Woman came into our lives and what we love about it. And of course, that goes double for you at home and everyone watching the live chat. Was it love at first Laserdisc, Vital VHS? Hit us up in the chat and let us know how Son of a Woman came into your lives. But Derek, when did you first get scented of a woman? Did?
Well, you tried.
Scented of a woman did.
When was the first time you smelled the scent of a woman?
You were dealt the smelt.
It probably smelled like a video store. This is definitely a rental.
Thus dealt it.
Definitely a rental because it came out in '92. I didn't see it in theaters. I probably saw it much later, possibly the early 2000s might have been the first time I saw it, but I liked it because I was exposed to, due to my age, Pacino probably from Dick Tracy, 1990. So that's that big personality that I mostly knew him from. And Scent of a Woman is really only a step down in that manic mannerisms from Dick Tracy. So I'm just like, I'm in. I like it. All the ooh-ah and stuff like that.
Right.
It was great.
Dick Tracy is like 5th gear, and Son of a Woman is like, we're gonna temper ourselves and only be in 4th, son. This is what we're doing today. And it's also funny. I feel like Dick Tracy was probably a lot more people's gateway drug into the Pacino verse than they even realize. Like, as you say it, I'm like laughing. I'm like, that's crazy. What a way to discover Pacino. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, what the fuck had I seen before, like, sitting in the theater in 1990 for Dick Tracy? Like, probably not much at that point, if anything. Like, I'd seen the cover to The Godfather. That was about it.
When did Devil's Advocate come out?
97.
Almost 2000, or that was really late in the 90s.
Yeah. But what about Scott? When did you first get scented?
That would have been taking a Laserdisc home after work.
Wow. Love at first Laserdisc. Yes.
Yeah. And that, good movie. I had watched it then, and then I didn't see it again until I watched it for a refresher today. And I think my thing is I always remember it's like a good movie, but it's a commitment. It's a long ass movie, and it's not a movie you just throw in the background when you're just doing other things. Like, if you're going to watch this, you kind of have to sit down and like watch it and listen to the dialogue. I mean, that's kind of what it is. And so I think it's just one of those, I never went back because I'm always like, I don't want to spend 2.5 hours watching a movie again. You know what I mean? But it's like, and if somebody said, what did you think of it? It's like, oh, but it is good, and I remember, and it is, you get, I think Pacino won the Oscar for this, if I'm not mistaken. And
his only Oscar.
This is where everybody pulls from when they do their Pacino impression, no matter what, you know what I mean? Like that and Scarface, which was my intro to Pacino back in the 80s. But so, and I think didn't Pacino kind of, as time went on into the 90s and 2000s, he almost started playing caricatures of himself.
Pacino as we know him today.
Okay. And I could especially see that. I think of that movie 88 Minutes, that terrible Lily Sobieski, and where he had 88 minutes to live, just a ridiculous. But
I never
hamming
saw
it
that
up.
one, but just Lily Sobieski takes me back to a time and place. Holy shit.
Glengarry Glen Ross, I thought he was fantastic. Although he is kind of playing, Ricky Roma or whatever, is a character similar almost to this one, where he's really boisterous and know-it-all. It just
It
has,
was the same year.
Was it?
Yep.
That was it 92 as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, that would make sense because that was very much, but I feel like this was almost that turning point for Pacino where he was like went from sort of Al Pacino the actor to Al Pacino playing Al Pacino in a movie or doing an Al
That's
Pacino
interesting.
impression
Yeah, I
in a
mean,
movie.
That's
Well-
very being John Malkovich.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you know what?
Malkovich.
I often
Pacino.
I often feel that we say that because Pacino has such a noticeable and just like he has that rhythm, the way he speaks, the way he acts. That's just who he is. So anything he does, yeah, you're gonna say like, oh, it's just Pacino being Pacino, but it's just like that's just the way he acts from day one. I mean, like I don't think there was ever, even from Scarface, from everything he's done, he's been pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And it's
I
either
think he's
he
very
speaks.
he's very subdued in Godfather, wouldn't you say?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He either speaks
Yeah.
louder or he speaks more quiet. But he's
Well, yeah, there's I mean, that's just
same
the
rhythm.
that's just the two age points of Pacino. There's like the young Pacino where he talks and it's kind of quiet. Well, Michael, I don't want to.
His voice is much higher in pitch, and then he goes way
higher
down.
yeah. And then you get to like the Donnie Brasco era. You know what I mean?
Even I kind of like this. I like the softer Pacino though. Sometimes I like the heat moment. The brother, you are going down.
Well, one of my favorite
That's-
stories. One of my favorite stories is Hank Azaria talk about shooting that one scene in Heat where he's like, Pacino did literally like 100 takes of like, she had a great ass and you had your head all the way up it. And then he's louder and louder and louder until eventually she had a great ass. And it's like, you got to admit the delivery is unforgettable. Only fucking Pacino could do that and have it not just completely tank the whole fucking movie. But what about Mickey? What age was this, a McDate back in the day?
No. I think it was like 92. I'm a sophomore in high school. So I'm not thinking about that. I'm like romantic.
You hadn't
movies,
discovered girls yet.
No. I would if we were gonna be honest, that was like when I did like like meaning like I achieved what Pacino talked about in the movie of this one.
Mickey was hunting the actual scent
at
of
this
actual
time,
women.
Mickey had smelt a woman. So
Exactly.
Saw the Flintstones movie instead.
That's where the action is. He wanted to go Bam Bam.
So I finally saw this, like I might have rented this or watched this on HBO because I did get, I mean, obviously there was a Pacino phase where I had to like just watch like Pacino movies. Like I was just like anything that I saw him doing or being in, I'm like, I gotta go watch that. It's Pacino.
The 90s were kind of the Pacino-sance,
I always laugh because we always say like he's like an honorary Hispanic, even though he's not. He's the only one that is. He's the only one acceptable to play Hispanic, even though he's not Hispanic. I'm like, so
why we need to do a Carlito's Way episode too, by the way. So if we don't doing Scarface, doing Son of a Woman, we need to put some respect on Carlito Brigante's name.
I do like
sure.
I do like Carlito's Way. I love.
Oh my God,
awesome.
I love that one. No, for sure. That's like the everyone discovers Scarface when they're in high school. You discover Carlito's Way when you're like in college. I feel like that's the one you get a little bit later in life. I mean, Mickey, you may have been at the age where you saw it when it was fresh, when it was new. I just missed it when it was new. I didn't even I don't even think I was aware of it because I was like 9 years old. But anyway, not to get all derailed.
I saw it, and you know what? It's not a bad movie. It's a man movie for me. It's just one of those like Scotty said it best. It's like it's just a commitment. Like at first, like I mean, I really hate those like bratty fucking like Harvard-ish kids, like that, like the whole like beginning just always pisses me off. Like I'm sitting there like I can't get down with this. You know, the only acceptable is Goodwill Hunting for me.
Well, you know, it's interesting. When I think of the kids at the beginning of this movie, I always feel like Philip Seymour Hoffman just like buries all these other young actors away. And they're not bad actors. They're actually everyone's very good. I've seen them
they're
all.
generic
I've
as
seen
a
them all in
as
other
persons.
things, and they've been great. Like the one guy's in Jerry Maguire and High Fidelity and stuff like that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
um, but yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman just blows everyone off the fucking screen, even Chris O'Donnell. And I love that Paul Thomas Anderson says about this movie. He goes, "When I saw this movie, I took one look at Philip Seymour Hoffman, and that was love at first sight for me. I was in love with him as an actor. I knew I had to fucking write things for him to act." And I think that's really cool.
I don't know. Let's just go ask Charlie. You know, I don't know.
Quick question, like this time frame, and I was thinking about this as I'm watching with Pacino and a lot of his monologues and his dialogue, and I'm like, God, this was right at the beginning, like just a couple years before we got into Tarantino dialogue, Kevin Smith dialogue, Kevin Williamson dialogue. You know what I mean? In the 90s were all about that snappy monologue
Aaron
dialogue kind of
Sorkin,
movies.
yeah.
And this almost seemed like, I wonder if those guys just watched this and it's like, I want to do something like that, and you really, pump up this, this real sharp, snappy dialogue, which, because Pacino, every time he's on, he's just kind of owning the scenes, you know what I mean, with his carry-ons like that.
Especially
I
the
agree with you
family
a little
scene
bit
too.
though, but if I can
the
counter
family scene
you,
is where it gets it.
if I can counter you though, I don't like this movie, but Martin, or not this movie, but the movie I'm going to address it is another great Marty Brest movie, which is Midnight Run. This it does have a similar feel. Scent of a Woman.
Marty
with
Brest,
the
are you
dialogue.
guys like that or something?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, who doesn't love but
Marty Scorsese? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
No, I say Marty.
Jim Cameron.
You know, Jimmy. But
John
Marty Brest,
Daniels.
like that whole
You've known him as long as I have, son.
quick dialogue.
You know him as long as I have. You call him Marty.
I think it's there. I think that they do. But I do know what you're saying. There is this. The '90s were an era of what could be quoted, right? Like, let's get a quote from this movie. Every movie should have a quote.
You know why though? I say that is because the 90s, even like think about the music too. Lyrics were way more important in the 90s than they were in the 80s, obviously.
That's true, yeah.
So I think people in the 90s in general, they wanted their voice heard. They wanted to verbally vomit, and they just wanted everybody to know how they felt. And I'm so depressed, and I'm so sad.
Well, I mean, it's also, the beginnings of the self-aware era, going from the self-obsessed era of the 80s to the self-aware era.
Everybody was coming down off of a 10-year cocaine high, so everybody's crashing.
And they all thought they had, everyone thought they had something to say. Not everyone did, but I think in this movie, sure, Pacino, there's a lot to say. All right, what about Young Iowa Ian? How did what gas station stumbled you into this cinematic universe?
I don't remember watching it for the first time. I really don't. I remember, I definitely know probably when I saw it. I remember always hearing about it, like watching the Oscars and him winning, and stuff like that. And I will tell you, the first thing that I always recognized it from was the greatest show ever, The Critic. They love to make fun of Scent of a Woman in The Critic.
Oh, they did. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, they made fun of this movie left and right in The Critic.
Hoo-ah! Can't stop saying hoo-ah!
Hoo-ah! I'm going to say it again. Hoo-ah! But there was a period there when I was in middle school, when I really started getting into films, and I would rent videos. I remember I was obsessed with Al Pacino, and I was obsessed with Sigourney Weaver. I don't know why, but I had this I'm just saying, I had this notebook.
Sounds like a weird wet dream.
Well, remember those zip folders?
With the head of Abraham Lincoln.
You mean the Trapper Keepers?
The Trapper Keepers, yeah.
Those.
I had a weird thing that I did. I don't know where I got it from. I don't know why I did it, but when I would watch a movie, as if like a notch on the belt, I would, with whiteout, I would put the movie on there. And I had in the middle, like in like the inside of the Trapper Keeper was Sigourney Weaver and Al Pacino, because they were like, this is my favorite actress, this is my favorite actor. And I had a list of like all Al Pacino movies and all Sigourney Weaver movies that I would watch. And I'm sure if I found that Trapper Keeper today, I'm sure Scent of a Woman would be on that list somewhere. I guarantee you it'd have to be. But
that will be your Grail quest to find that Trapper Keeper.
It's got to be somewhere. But I remember more so in high school of renting the movie from the library and just studying that speech at the end. You know, especially when I was in speech and debate club. Like I loved his speech at the end, and just watching and how does he deliver that, and how can you deliver this line? How do you the rhythms of that? I studied that scene a lot in high school, so that's what I remember the most of Scent of a Woman from back.
I mean, this is just, you know, to me, everything Pacino does in this movie is fucking gold. Like, you know, there's if he didn't win the Oscar for this, it would have been probably the greatest crime since Pat Morita getting robbed in '84. But
should he have gotten it for this? That's the question, Chris.
Well, Pacino, should he have gotten it for this?
Is it because it was Pacino and this is the moment that we can give it to Pacino? Or
what else was there?
I mean, yeah. What do you think he should have gotten it for Sea of Love or something instead? Like, I don't.
Oh, give me Sea of Love. Anyway.
I don't know. I'm not trashing it. I'm not trashing it.
Why did he not win for The Godfather? Is what I'm. You know, Godfather Part 2. I mean, hell.
I think every year that he was nominated, there was tough competition. So he was nominated for Dick Tracy. So he had to win for this. Yep.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna say it, and I don't care. You farts can say whatever you want in our chat board, but Godfather 3, there is no better moments than his performance in that movie. I'm not saying a great movie, but his performance in that movie. Why did he not get an Oscar for that?
I don't have an issue with Godfather 3, so
I like the third one.
People keep trashing Godfather 3, and they love that one line. That line where it's like every time I try to get out, they pull me back in. They keep quoting that, but they trash the movie.
No, they trash Sofia Coppola.
They trash the movie too.
Oh, first of all, who doesn't love Sofia Coppola? You got to be deaf, dumb, and fucking blind to not be a fan of Sofia Coppola. So, I think history will tell the tale on that one.
But I will say this, to also counter it though, and I've said this on the show before. I always think an Oscar should go to the one who should win it is somebody who
that you can't imagine anyone else in the role.
Can't imagine anybody else ever doing that role, and I can't see anybody but Al Pacino do this role.
Amen. Bingo. We are rarely on the same page, but tonight we are, I think.
Isn't this where we're at with the Oscars and have been for a long time, where they're always playing catch up, and it's like, oh, we'll give it to this guy now, but he should have gotten it years ago for this other award that we didn't give it to him then because somebody else.
Like, yeah, we're giving it to him because of The Godfather, not because of actual set.
I mean, yeah, I think that's Scorsese too. Like The Departed's good, but I don't think it's like better than like Casino or any of the other millions of movies that like didn't win.
Goodfellas, I mean.
Goodfellas, come on. Yeah, come on. Yeah, exactly.
Goodfellas alone.
I think it has to do with competition. You know, they didn't win because another performance went better.
What was the competition in 1990 for Goodfellas? I can't even remember what won that year.
Dances with Wolves.
Dances with fucking Wolves.
God,
dude, I wouldn't piss on the negative if it was on fire. All right,
dude.
Shut up.
That's fucking bullshit. Don't even come and defend that.
And with Casino, it was Braveheart that won.
Oh, that's even worse.
Fuck Mel Gibson, yeah. That fucking history on that sucks fucking ass too.
I can't.
Let's go to the chat. Let's go to the chat so I can get this shitty taste out of my mouth. What do we got in the chat today? Angie Saunders, the mashup genius. Monica Thyman, our favorite Swede from across the pond. Caitlin Altman, America's Next Top Model. Oscar the Statue Toronzo, Mikey Riffraff, the other mashup genius, Whiskey 4-1, the great Alex Bonafonte, Michael Ricci, our favorite location scout, Cobra Kai Never Dies, our good friend Joanne, Dustin Nino from Retro Fiend Radio, makers the finest canon and martial arts docs. Watch the Ninja 4, the documentation. It's the 40th anniversary. It kicks fucking ass.
It is awesome.
Junior Coltrane, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Angie Saunders says, best movie ever. Hoo-ah! You can dance a tango and drive a Ferrari better than anyone I've ever seen. A moral dilemma, Charlie. I saw this movie on VHS, and I loved it. Coming in swinging, Angie. Thank you. Whiskey 4-1, I have not seen Son of a Woman in years. I have not smelled the Son of a Woman in years either. Well, I'm sorry on both counts, Whiskey, but you're
It's
a
like
good
a double
man.
negative.
You're a fine American, and
I smell the scent.
I hope you find your first lady soon, sir. Oscar Toronto, thanks for covering our favorite movies we grew up with. I saw this definitely at home with family on VCR or cable. I was like 12. It defined how I grew up and made decisions. Fine movie and important. Man, I love that, Oscar. Thank you. This is touching people on a personal level this week.
Hopefully you didn't juggle grenades. I mean, that's
Mikey Riffraff, I watched this on VHS with my lady aunt Angie. Didn't watch this until about 15 years ago. Oh, that's cute. Angie showed you this. I love that. When people come together for movies, that's the best. That's what romance is in my book. Whiskey 4-1, Mickey's talking about the Punani, which tango scene is better? Scent of a Woman or True Lies with Tia Carrera or True Lies with Jamie Lee Curtis? Whiskey votes for Tia Carrera. That's a whole nother thing. Michael Ricci saying it's wild that this is the director that did Beverly Hills Cop. It is, it's funny. I think of those as the Marty Brest joints, not Midnight Run. But
it's also the director of Geely. Let's not forget that, folks.
Oh, but I love Geely. Don't talk bad about Geely. I love it.
You would.
That is certainly.
I love it. I love it, Mickey.
Definitely not the best of the breast, in my opinion. But hey, we can debate that another day, maybe. Some love for Heat in the chat. Monica says she watches on video with her sister and we both liked it. Dustin Nino, first time was a rental. One of the movies that I rented just to start to get serious about film and blasted out of my mind smoking weed and thinking I was Scorsese. You just described a large chunk of my life, my friend.
This director should do a trilogy and call it 3 Abreast.
Ooh.
There you go.
That. Okay, so my first time seeing this, I have a weird first memory of this. Because it's one of those like Mandela effect things that can't be true. Because I specifically remember watching this movie before going to school one day, which I don't know if I got up at 6 in the morning and watched this, but it's just one of those rare times. The only other movie that I had that memory with is Tin Cup. But I specifically remember watching the ending scene before school on my parents' couch in the family room, like with Cocoa Puffs and I don't think I was late. Maybe I was probably late for school that day. It's probably just one of those days where my parents were like, we'll just drive you to school because this scene fucking kicks ass. And yeah, I think this was like, an early discovery of like what real acting is and, who Pacino was and probably like started to fire on some switches about like, oh, movies can be a little like, they don't all have to have Ninja Turtles to be great movies, But through the years, I'd say,
although it would be pretty cool to see Al Pacino play a Ninja Turtle.
I would see him playing the Shredder any day of the week. Just
if Al Pacino did hoo-ah every time he kicked or karate chopped somebody, that would be pretty cool.
And he fights Terry Silver and he hears an asa.
I could see that as a YouTube video, just some fight scene, and all the sound effects are Pacino doing his or something like that.
Oh my God! I need to make that now.
Somebody mash that up now.
Yes,
mash it up now.
I'm gonna leave the show early tonight to go do that.
You do want to ask him though, how many people come up and just do that to Al Pacino? Not ask him to do it, but just does it to him.
So I know Michael Keaton got annoyed at people saying, "Hey, Batman," to him. I can't imagine Pacino didn't get sick of hearing "hoo-ah." But who knows? Who the hell
knows? Funny is, I
knows?
just watched a RoboCop documentary. It was like that 4-hour one that's on Amazon Prime.
Our friend Mike Perez produced it.
Mike Perez did. Yeah,
very cool doc.
RoboDoc.
And the guy,
amazing.
The guy who played Emil was talking about every time people see me, they're like, "Oh, I like it." And whenever the Kurtwood Smith is like, "Oh, people always come up to me, bitches leave," so everybody, I think almost any actor that's got any kind of line that sort of enters that pop culture,
Yeah.
you know, into that, the zeitgeist or whatever, where everybody's just saying it or becomes a thing, then I think you're just going to hear that for the rest of your life. I think that's just where it's going to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you get
I will
one of
take
those
it
in a movie,
any
you
day.
are so lucky.
I'll
You
take
know?
it.
Pacino probably gets to say hello to my little friend a lot too. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say how
yeah.
great. Yeah, he's got multiple ones. You know, it's fun. Like Tom Hanks
yeah.
got multiple ones. You know, like it's funny when actors like that get one or two.
We already know what Chris would say to him if he ever met him. He's like, she had a great ass.
No, honestly, my favorite, my all-time favorite Pacino has got to be Donnie Brasco, and I think he should have won again for that. I think that's one of the best performances in the history of film. I think it's his best, maybe, and Pacino's, and Johnny Depp's best. And it's crazy that neither of them won for that. I don't think we were nominated, but I could be wrong on the nomination part. Yeah, I mean, we're at the half-hour point. It is sequel time. We're really upping the ante here. We're picking the most unsequelizable movies and seeing, we're really painting ourselves into a corner and seeing how fucking creative we are. So let's see, how creative are we tonight?
Well, but look, before we go on though, I really do have to say though, I think this is one of the best endings to a movie ever. I think everybody who watches this movie wishes they could have a moment where they could stand up in front of an entire crowd and just rip everybody in that room. You know, like that is a powerhouse of acting in that. In that.
It would never happen today, where people would constantly be cutting you off or trying to shut you down. Like you see that in politics, just that they never let you finish your thought.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's just like quiet and listening to Pacino talk. It's like, I like this guy's voice. Everyone shut up. Let's listen to him.
Yeah. Well, like that woman.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, what were you gonna say? No. We're gonna say Scott.
There's one thing that's become since I've moved to the East Coast and I've been and spent some time in New York City. There's like this kind of pet peeve of mine about driving in New York in movies now, or it's like you watch Law and Order and the cops got to go interview somebody and they always find parking right out front of the place they need to go, which in New York City is like usually
that's never gonna
7
happen.
blocks away or whatever. And so, this is again one of these moments, because I remembered the Ferrari scene, and then when I saw it again, I'm like, now again having this whole New York experience where I'm just like, or knowledge where I'm like, you wouldn't drive a Ferrari in Midtown if you could see. I don't think they would give you, and for the dealer would make you make right turns all the way around the block. But even then, I'm like, set that in White Plains. Like maybe they take a drive to the suburbs, because in Midtown, nobody's driving anywhere with any kind of speed, let alone a blind guy. And I know it's stupid, but it's just one of those things where I see this, I'm like, another one of these unrealistic driving in New York situations where it's never going to happen, But
I rewatched the movie today as well. And yeah, the dealership is in Midtown and they're like walking around, but when they're driving, geographically, it's like Brooklyn.
Essentially.
Yeah, you see a bridge. Yeah, you see a bridge. Yeah.
You see Manhattan, and I'm like,
for
why
us
the hell? But
Iowans,
whatever.
we didn't care or get it. We were fine.
Hey, there's millions of people in New York. They're gonna know that.
They don't count.
They don't count. The biggest movie market in the world. They don't count.
They don't.
Remember, he was in Little Iowa over there.
Right. We don't know New York. That's a dream.
But Los Angeles is the same way. Anything that takes place in LA, people are just driving. I'm like, where's the traffic? Where are the stoplights? It's like I'm in traffic constantly, and you guys are just going like 40.
I lived in Minneapolis until I was 40, so that's the thing. I went to New York once in my 30s, but after moving out here and spending time is when all of a sudden this comes in where I'm like, God, I've been lied to in so many goddamn movies. You're not just driving into Midtown and parking in front of wherever you need to be. It's like you're sitting at stop and go traffic for hours. I mean, a car is probably the worst way to get around in New York City, I think.
More realistic. Like whenever I saw people like, oh, we're gonna go drive to the city, I'm like, who fucking drives to the city? I'm taking the train. I'm like, that's just me.
I'll get as far as like Secaucus, and then I leave the car and get on that. It's one stop. You know what I mean?
Stop.
$4.
Exactly.
Done and done.
Well, you know, this does, I will say, even though the inaccuracy of driving does take me back to a different time of New York, when it was, I don't know, something before. I know it sounds kind of crazy and shitty and whatever, but there was something a little bit more magical about New York before it kind of got cleaned up in the late 90s, you know? I sort
Yeah.
of like when it
New
still
York,
had some of that, 80s grit, like that Home Alone 2
Dude,
era New York, you know?
the
It was
Warriors
still scary.
taking
It was still
the Warriors taking a Pelham 123 basket case. Any of those where Times Square was like extremely dangerous for anybody to
Yeah.
be in. It's like I don't ever want to actually experience that, but I love it in movies where I'm like, when New York, as I always call it, those are the shitty New York years where it was just like the subway was probably a good chance of you getting murdered, you know, back in those
Yeah.
days.
Yeah,
Graffiti on
like
everything. And
like 78 to like 98, maybe something like
every
that.
every
You know,
70s movie in New York, it's like super gritty, and it's like, ugh,
Murder.
don't want
you
to
get off on
live there.
Yeah, you
well, there are
Jason
some
Takes
there.
Manhattan was one of the last of those eras
Oh
when they had
God,
the
I love
fence
that one.
got
Jason
their
takes a
radio
boat.
kicked.
Get outta here.
Oh man, one of my favorite moments ever.
Jason takes Quebec. Get out of here.
Yeah.
It's a
Ontario.
flawed movie, but it's a beautifully flawed film.
Here's the problem.
So,
If you do a sequel to this, all right,
okay, there's pitches. So
the worst thing you could do is, send a woman to literally like the same movie over again, right? You don't want to get Chris O'Donnell to come back and have to be in charge of him, and
he couldn't be blind. Chris O'Donnell couldn't be blind.
No, I don't. No, but I do like the idea of old Al Pacino doing this character in his literally now grandpa years.
You don't have to bring Chris O'Donnell back. You just cast any young actor that's around high school, college age now, and then it's kind of that, but in a new adventure.
I'd love to. Okay, honestly, a thought that just popped in my head, as weird as it sounds, because I've never really seen people do this. What if you just remade it with Al Pacino playing the Al Pacino role, and it's the same movie. You just see how it's different now.
that's the worst idea I've ever heard.
You're the worst idea ever. That shirt's the worst idea ever.
What if we remade the movie? That's perfect. And the only thing to do with that is to fuck it up. You know?
That's kind of like when they did like a Brothers McMullen and She's the One, where it was basically the same movie, but just role reversed a little bit.
Blood In, Blood Out, and American Me, Armageddon and Deep Impact.
Some Kind of Wonderful and
Pretty in Pink and
we're kind of
Some Kind of Wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, but at least those are two good movies.
No.
I love Some Kind of Wonderful. Though.
He's poor now. Oh, it's a different movie. Got it. Okay.
Okay, so let's go with the chat then. There's some good pitches there. The first pitch, a very serious pitch from Angie and Mike, the mashup duo. Their pitch, Charlie's son is an injured vet. Colonel Slade arrives and the two bond over each other's military service and dealing with the scars left behind after. I love that. That's like the one.
That's actually really good.
That's really good, yeah. That's like something
That's
I would
really
totally fucking see.
All right, we are all quitting the show.
Yeah, that's it. You guys take
You
over.
know what? I just had an idea too. Team up Al Pacino now. Make him have to deal with Bradley Whitford's character, his own nephew that hates him so bad. Make them in some kind of an odd couple scenario.
Oh, fucking road movie with the two of them. Yes, please.
Oh,
yes, please.
God.
Yes, please. Because Frank died, the brother died.
Handle that though.
Yes, it's Coupe de Ville. It's Coupe de Ville meets My Dinner with Pacino. Oh, it's fucking
It's the
wonderful.
Rain Man scenario, but with Bradley Whitford and Pacino in those two roles, and they hate each other. And Whitford's just constantly on him about how he blinded himself and what a shithead he is and all that.
Yes,
that's great. That's great. I would watch that too.
I'm gonna throw a variant on every version that's been pitched so far. I'm okay with all of it if we replace Chris O'Donnell. No disrespect, but replace Chris O'Donnell with Marlon Wayans. Because Marlon Wayans was supposed to be Robin, and Chris O'Donnell replaced him as Robin.
Just for that sole reason.
Turnabout is fair play. Yeah, it's time.
I hate you only because you're so proud of that reach, and I know you are, and that's why I cannot stand you now.
That reach is for me, myself, and I. Okay, so you can see yourself out of it.
It's a good reach around.
Yeah.
I'll congratulate myself later. But whiskey 4-1 has a pitch.
I can feel your ego over here for that.
But whiskey 4-1 with a better pitch even than mine. But whiskey's pitch: a young prep schooler faces disciplinary action and seeks the help of a con man who lies about being a CIA operative and police officer to learn to lie his way out of it. Steven Seagal in The Scent of Bullshit. I love it. That is fantastic. I would totally, you know what? That is just, the scent of shit.
Way to shit on a franchise. Wow.
Stench of a man, starring Steven Seagal. I am fucking here
You
for
might
it.
be lying.
Yes.
I'm telling you, he knows what he's doing. And Charlie, forget you guys. This isn't, you know. I'm not a bad man. I'm not a bad man.
It has to be a school in East Los Angeles, so I can hear Seagal do his shitty Chicano accent and talk like he's like part of the fucking hood. I need it. It's Lean on Me or there's so many stinky Seagal variants to this, and I would watch all of them. Thank you, Whiskey. Please pitch more of them in the chat.
Somebody just to get AI to generate that scene. I just need to see that. Steven Seagal saying "Baird Man." That's all.
He's a bear man.
That's all I need, you guys. Like, I'm sorry.
Oh, you think you're some kind of bad man?
Oh, what's a bad man?
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do, bad man. I'm gonna put these hands behind my back, okay? Come on, come cut my heart out, bad man.
I'm just getting warmed up.
An A.
Mouse kicks the
Oh
guy in
my
the face.
God, yes. I love it. That's the best Seagal pitch yet, I think. But Gold's code, Sean Gold has entered the chat, folks. So seeing this panel makes me wish I was blind. I kid. He may have a pitch coming in later. We'll see. Dustinino says, I die with you, Donnie. I love when Mickey loses and I lose it every time. I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
Oh, Gold's Coast. I got to eat dinner with Donna. She is super nice. Oh, Donna, of course, from For Love or Money with Michael J. Fox, and If Looks Could Kill, Richard Grieco. Donna was on a little bit of a run in the early '90s. Where is she now? I don't know. I need to see the Unsolved Mysteries on that.
Gabriel Anwar, right?
I believe that is her name. Yes.
Gabriel Anwar.
That's the one he dances with at the.
Yes, the tango. And I used to always confuse her with the girl from Father of the Bride. I used to think they were the same person.
I've never seen her in any other movie. That tango girl.
Oh, you never saw For Love or Money or If Looks Could Kill with Richard Grieco?
Nobody saw For Love or
Apparently
Money.
not.
Nobody watched that movie. It's you go to Greedy, to Life of Mike, and then you just skip the rest of them. All right. Nobody saw For the Love of Money. Get out.
You're just gonna shit on Homeward Bound 2, my fucking San Francisco treat of a cinematic treasure. You son of a bitch. All right, but Gold's Code's got a pitch. It's all as well because his pitch. Frank ends up in Ohio only to nearly get run over by the preps on blades. Pissed, he takes Mitchell under his wing and shows him the art of both blading and living so they can win in Scentborn. Oh my God. This is the Cobra Kai that we need now. The Cobra Kai's over. Scentborn is it. And this time we get to stick the landing, sir. None of this
reason
stinky.
I like this is because I can see a shot of Al Pacino in a suit on the skateboard and just them putting in the worst Beach Boys ripoff second tier band music, and it works, and I'm okay with that.
They could do they could do the surf rock, the fucking.
It's not Surfing USA, but it's their version of surfing. You know,
I'm starting to feel that like
USSR,
Ian has like this whole like thing with like he just doesn't like Ohio.
Well, Ian is Mr. Trask. If you notice it, he's Dean Master Trask. In every fucking episode of VCR Redux, Ian could be played by James Rebhorn, who plays Trask in this movie. The dad, also known as the dad from Blank Check, a man that I fucking love to celebrate. Also is Mr. Lipnicki in Independence Day. What happened to this man? Where is James Rebhorn? We need more of him. And he's also in fucking Carlito's Way.
He's long
He was
dead.
the car. He was the car expert in My Cousin Vinny.
Dude, only made fucking
that's
hits.
right.
Yeah, and he's in Carlito's Way. He's the lawyer who's trying to make a deal with Carlito at the end. Yeah. Well. Okay, maybe not only hits. The game is not for me. But it's not a game. That's not a game I wanted to play. I'll tell you that. Yeah, I don't know. Too pretentious. Take that one to your country club, Ian. You can talk about the game at your next racquetball match. But for now, Dustin Nino's got a pitch in his pitch. Dustin Nino's pitch is Scent of a Ninja. Oh, I love it already. A blind ex-Colonel Slade mentors a troubled cadet, uncovering a secret past as a deadly ninja. When his old clan hunts him down, he must fight, guided by scent alone. Oh, I love this.
The sad part is that is probably
Blind Fury. Wasn't that a canon film with Rutger
Yeah,
Hauer?
but this is like the better version.
A canon film that they took to Cannes Film Festival and actually made a poster of that with Al Pacino's face on it. Clear as day, not having any contract signed at all.
Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
Staff and says, "Say hello to my little friend," or.
Die with Johnny.
I gotta say, we don't even need to pitch tonight. The fucking chat is crushing it. We got Kyle 2.0 pitching Scent of a Man. And you know what? I don't know how it works, but I imagine just a full-on gender flip version. And you know what? I'm here for it. Who could be the Al Pacino? Who is you're telling me Scent of a Man stars Fran Drescher? And I'm in. Oscars, everyone wins. America wins. We win. Yeah, Rosie Perez also in Scent of a Man. I'm there for it. J-Lo in Scent of a Man.
Donnie.
Annie Potts. Annie Potts in Scent of a Man. I'm here for any of these.
Who is Al Pacino's acting sister? I mean, like the
Fran Drescher. It's Fran Drescher.
No, stop it.
Yes, it's Fran.
Stop it. Who could do that?
Ellen Barkin is the only other acceptable choice.
Ellen Barkin, but not at this point. Yeah, no.
What do you mean not at this point? What she's expired? Is she old milk? Ellen Barkin's fucking perfection still. She's aging like wine.
You could put Ellen Barkin, Al Pacino, and Johnny Depp in a movie, since Ellen Barkin and Johnny Depp had a little thing, and put that all in a mixed blender and come up with Scent of a Woman too.
They did. It's called Sea of Love.
That's the subtitle. Ooh-ah.
Oh my God! So that
together too, Ellen Barkin and Pacino.
So that actually does it for the pitches in the chat. Other than people congratulating each other on their wonderful pitches, which I
they came up with the best pitches. I mean, like
they really
Angie
did, yeah.
Angie killed it. It's like.
Scotty
killed it too.
Yeah. A few years ago.
I have a break glass in case of emergency kind of thing, and I may have to do it for this because, I would, if you're gonna do a different format of this or something else, and I usually hate when they do this, but if you go inappropriately enough, I think it can land for me, and I would see a version of this on Broadway. In drag. It could be Scent of a Man, it could be Scent of a Woman, it could be whatever, but I don't know. I just think it could play. I think it could play really fucking well. You get some like Tu Wong Fu type of vibes,
Now you're bullshitting me. Because number one, I can never see you going to Broadway. Number two, let alone watching this.
All right, on stage, but I'm telling you, Scent of a Man starring RuPaul could be fucking brilliant. Or Ian loves Tyler Perry. I'm trying to think of other people who famously do drag, but
Scent of Medea.
Martin Lawrence, Scent of Medea. Oh, don't get fucked.
I'll take Martin Lawrence. I'll take Big Mama's house. Scent of Big Mama's house. I'll take that.
No. Stop it.
Scent of Big Mama's house. P.U.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, without getting too crazy about it, you could do like Son of a Wolf Man, or you could get really I don't know. I thought it was funny to me, all right? Maybe I've been mashing up for too long, all right? Maybe I've been mashing up
You got
for
him
too
in
long.
drag on Broadway. You got a Wolfman's.
Why not? Why can't you have Son of a Wolf Man? God damn it.
Wolfman would be able to pick up the woman's scent from a long distance, I would think.
Jack Nicholson, it's the sequel to Wolf, Son of a Wolf Man.
Oh, get out of here. Good
Oh God.
Good Lord.
Oh, come on.
Not since
That's where I get the groans. That's
to the Wolf Man.
That's where I break all of you. With the more specific Son of a Wolf Man. Come on.
Yeah.
I've pitched worse, and you all know it. You all know
Yeah.
it.
Was it Chris Elliott Jesus one time in your pitch?
He might have been. That sounds like something I would pitch. That sounds like a good time. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds pretty goddamn good.
Oh, Werewolves of London. I love that.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Werewolves of London.
There you go.
Hoo-ah.
There you go. Al Pacino singing Warren Zevon.
Wait a minute. You could do. Okay, so the fucking literal sequel they set up already in the fucking button scene or the Easter egg scene of the denouement, if you will. Al Pacino and that redheaded teacher, they have a kid, and the kid's inner monologue is voiced by De Niro. Look who I's talking. Son of a woman too. Look who I's talking. And the kid's just like, complaining about it.
That poster. I don't want to see the movie. I just want to see the poster.
Son of a woman too. Look who I's talking.
Oh my God. And the soundtrack could have Busta Rhymes. Ooh, I got you all in check. Ooh.
So there's something in the chat which is making me lose it. Even worse than Mickey. It is Busta Rhymes. Up there. So Michael Ricci saying this panel is desensitized, which is a wonderful play on words. And it's got me going back to my Marlon Wayans and his senseless. And there's got to be a senseless of a woman That's the crossover. It's somehow he gets that shit, that stuff that Marlon Wayans where you can like see, it increases your senses and he can see again. So it's Son of a Woman 2. It's revision.
What if Al Pacino could be Daredevil?
Oh, that's just wrong.
Every time he jumps off a building, he does the hoo-ah then.
Hoo-ha! Got you all in check. Hoo-ha!
When he knocks him out, he just goes, huh, and then walks away.
Oh my God. Oh, we broke Mickey, and I think I broke myself in the process. This is too good.
I hate this man so much.
It's just the hoo-ah sound effect for the fighting.
Gosh.
Oh my God.
I just want to hear Al Pacino sing Busta Rhymes now. Oh my God.
I don't know what to make of this, but I want to connect like Mr. Magoo somehow, like Al Pacino playing Mr. Magoo, because he's like an old blind guy, but like the R-rated curmudgeon version.
Just Leslie Nielsen going around going, hoo-ah.
Scent of a woman, Mr. Magoo, hoo-ah. Something like that.
Oh my God.
I suppose he could team up with another blind person and they could call it Common Sense.
Oh my God, rest his soul. If Richard Pryor was still alive, they could have both been
Never
blind.
see no evil, hear no evil, reverse.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see a woman.
But I smell it. I smell it.
What do you suppose little George is gonna think about seeing no evil and hearing no evil? Hoo-ah. Well,
A woman and have Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder from that poster. That is Scent of a Woman.
Right now, I need Colonel Slade in the fucking MCU. I need him telling Spider-Man, "I'll rub your face in enlisted man's crud." Oh God, I would see any and all of these,
Oh my
please,
gosh,
on day one. Yes.
Nobody.
How is Pacino not wound up in the MCU
Everybody
yet?
bashes See No
I
Evil, Hear
know.
No Evil, but man,
He
if
could be
you had that
Deathstroke.
ending
He could
scene,
be Deathstroke. He
if
would
you
be
had
awesome as
that ending
Deathstroke.
scene in the in the trial at the end of this movie with Gene Wilder, who cannot hear, and him just screaming and echoing in that place, but Richard Pryor doing the speech of like, y'all gotta shut up. Gene Wilder, what?
Wait, one last pitch in the chat. I see my good friend, Mr. Matthew Sharp, one of the great mashup geniuses as well. Scent of a Mormon. I love it. I don't know how.
That would be on Broadway. That would be on Broadway.
I would love, yeah, the kids on Rumspringa or something. Oh my God, yeah, that's it. It's just Son of a Woman, and this time he's got a kid from on Rumspringa or whatever. That's that thing, right, where they go on their little walkabout.
Oh, the one
Like,
that you say the
You'd
Gene
have to
Silent.
get him down to Philadelphia for that, I think. But
yeah,
you could do that.
get Randy Quaid from fucking Kingpin and Al Pacino in this. The possibilities are endless, and there's your Kingpin, and it's all in the MCU, so it's a double, triple entendre. So we've fucking Marvelized and DCized and everythingized this movie. All right, I guess we're just about out of time.
It's a heroic effort anyway. So
it is a heroic effort. Yeah, I think, I don't know if we're winning any Oscars for this one,
Yeah,
but
yeah. And in our sequel, Al Pacino doesn't even get a nominated for.
He gets a Razzie for this one.
I think he's gotten Razzies, or he's been nominated for Razzies.
But maybe he wins a Grammy for "Who I Got You All in Check." Who I.
Oh my God. Yeah, the soundtrack song. Now I'm just thinking, like Joe Pesci doing his rap album. What's the how do we get Pacino on a soundtrack like "Hoo-ah" with my Dunkachino?
Why is it the funniest thing on the planet? Is just hearing Busta Rhymes and Al Pacino's voice.
If you really want to party with me, put your hoo-ah where my Ian can see. Get your pizza. If you really want to party with me, get your pizza where gas is still $1.03. Ian's fucking remix version.
Somebody out there I know has the way to do it. Just fucking dub me the hoo-ha. I got you all in check.
Courtesy of Fandom Spotlight, VCR Redux.
Lip Mode Squad, feet hoo-ah. Oh my God, Puff Daddy and the family got nothing on this. All right, we've all been gassed at the dentist. This is a poor show. We're all we're all a little too proud of ourselves tonight, I think. The in the chat it says this is worse than the Kroll episode, but also it says "Son of a Woman 2 senseless, lose it this summer." So I appreciate the tagline, Michael Ricci. All right, it is closing time. So for another 90s reference, is there anything you guys have got coming up in the works you want to let the people at home know about? Ian, any articles, anything?
Please check out my B Movie Challenge for the Convoy Trucksploitation classic of Trucker's Woman.
Oh, you bait and switch bastard. I thought you were doing a convoy episode, and I was like, a convoy article. I was really excited for a second there.
I'll watch
All right.
Sam Peckinpah. Heck yeah, that was anything's
I think
better
I've seen Trucker's Woman now that but it was I think I might have seen it as a Riff Tracks.
It was on Riff Tracks, yes.
Oh man. What and the
Jerry
cat
Reed
from
was
outer...
in some kind of like I love old shitty truck movies. That was again a whole genre, especially that late 70s era.
Love that genre.
Trucksploitation.
Ian's favorite fucking genre is definitely
White
Trucksploitation.
Line Fever.
All right, yeah.
Going
Vincent.
On, coming at you. Come on,
yeah. You're not gonna. What are you gonna talk about at Racquetball? Save something for Racquetball tomorrow.
I'm on a podcast where we're talking about trucksploitation movies.
I'm there, sir. I'm there.
I don't give.
I'd do an hour on that one. I would definitely go an hour on that one.
I don't give a fucksploitation about any of this, but no, I'm joking. I do love a good trucker cinema, especially Trucks, the Stephen King redux of Maximum Overdrive. Yes,
Lord.
I know. I'll
Hey,
go
by the
deep.
way, you see that though?
Oh shit. Green Goblin. I didn't even realize that was a Marvel reference until like fucking a couple episodes ago.
It's Maximum Overdrive. That's the face of the Maximum Overdrive.
I
truck.
know,
Yeah,
but I didn't
know.
realize. I thought it was a Maximum Overdrive reference all this time. I thought Green Goblin was aping Maximum OD.
Oh, let's see how it go.
I was having a maximum overdose. I don't know. But I guess it is time for me to say that you Fandom fans might want to come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we make Ian stand in the corner for our Blair Witch episode. As always, if you enjoyed this video, the best way to help is to smash that like button and leave a comment telling us what movie or TV franchise that you want us to cover on a future episode of VCR Redux. And since you're already doing that, you might as well go ahead and like, subscribe, and follow Fandom, Spotlight, and Pop Culture Punk. Till then, back up those Betamax, rewind those Laserdiscs, and we'll see you at the movies.